Isn't that neat? Hello, I'm Grin, and welcome to this video. As I've mentioned previously, Australia doesn't really get into the Halloween spirit, and so to get into it myself, I have to be somewhat self-reliant. I usually do this by setting up some Halloween decorations and making sure to put on a spooky movie. But one of the things that really get me into the season is YouTube channels that themselves really get into the spirit of Halloween. And so, in appreciation to them, in this video I'm going to have a look at 5 of my favourite Halloween YouTube channels. It's not a top 5, and it's definitely not a review, it's just listing off 5 channels that I really like throughout Halloween and why I enjoy them so much. And so, to begin with, we're going to have a look at one that actually predates YouTube itself. Because, let's be honest, nothing quite says Halloween like Malloween.
Yes, that's right. First we're having a look at HomestarRunner.com, a series that's been entertaining me since the year 2000 and has been giving us Halloween specials since the very beginning. There is, from a very quickly and roughly done count, currently 21 Halloween specials done by HomestarRunner.com, with the earliest one coming out in the year 2000 and the latest one coming out last year. Hopefully there'll be another one this year. Over the last 5 or so years, Homestar Runner updates have been rather sporadic, but they do seem to be getting back into it. So if you've never watched any of it, there's plenty to entertain you. Their specials are pretty much exactly what you want from an ongoing series. It's all of the characters on Halloween, dressed up as pop cultural icons, getting up to Halloween mischief. Being an animated series, there's no real limit to how Halloweeny they can make it look, and so the backdrops and colour scheme and whatnot over the Halloween specials are all fantastically spooky and really do get me in the Halloween mood, and have done so, as I said, for the past 17 years. I think you'll probably enjoy the Halloween specials more if you're already familiar with the characters, but you don't really need to be, and you'll probably enjoy it regardless. If I had to choose 3 favourite Halloween specials from Homestar Runner, which I don't, but I will anyway, I would have to go for Most in the Graveyard, Pumpkin Carve-Nival, and Jibblies 2, which I've provided links to all 3 underneath the heading of Homestar Runner in the description below. Now, there is one downside to this YouTube channel, which is, ironically, YouTube itself. As I said at the beginning, Homestar Runner predates YouTube, and so when it was originally crafted and when it was originally being released, almost all of it was made in Flash. Their newer videos that have come out over the last 2 years have in fact actually been made for YouTube, but all of the previous ones, since they were made for a different platform, have varying degrees of interactivity that just don't translate to a regular video file. For the most part, in all of the linear videos, all you're missing out on is a couple of little Easter eggs, although sometimes you're missing out on entire minigames, and when it comes to the Choose Your Own Adventure Halloween special, well, the YouTube version is really no substitute. Unfortunately, the entire reason that Homestar Runner is now over on YouTube is because Flash is becoming a less often supported video format, and so unfortunately, fewer and fewer people can actually view their website. But if Flash does work in your browser, I definitely suggest you watch all of their videos over there, because it is the superior version of it. However, if it doesn't work, definitely check out their stuff on YouTube. As I said, it doesn't make a huge difference for their linear videos, and it's certainly better than nothing.
This second channel is a series that is, while it's not uploaded as a Halloween series and is instead updated yearly round, is definitely rather spooky. So if you've not actually seen it yet, there's no better time to check it out and binge it than this October. So if you've ever wondered about the biology behind monsters, then you'll have to check out Trey the Explainer.
Trey the Explainer is a YouTube channel ran by someone who I can only assume is called Trey, who not only is an explainer, but is also a scientist. What kind of scientist, you may wonder? Well, no doubt a paleontologist, because most of the videos he does is on paleontology, but those are not the videos we're here to talk about today. No, indeed, we're instead talking about a somewhat related, but a little bit more spooky series that Trey the Explainer does, namely his Cryptozoology series. Firstly, you might be wondering, what exactly is cryptozoology? Well, it's the study of creatures that are not yet exactly scientifically documented, and so pretty much encompasses all the mythical creatures from the Loch Ness Monster to dragons and yetis and Bigfoot and all those things that go bump in the night. To which you might be thinking, but Grim, who cares? It's about 1,000,000,000 billion YouTube channels that do exactly precisely that, and so why are you lauding this one over all of the others? Well, quite simply, because this one goes above and beyond. Coming from a background of paleontology, Trey the Explainer is able to explore the subject matter far further than many other channels that simply read the Wikipedia page with spooky music playing in the background. His research is thorough and his insight is as logical as it is skeptical. Oh, and also there is still creepy music in the background, and of course, because most of the subject matter are some form of monster, it is still relatively spooky. It's just that usually towards the end of the video, there will be a likely explanation provided by Trey that is far from supernatural. If you're looking for a channel that's going to provide a lot of anecdotal evidence, ask a lot of open-ended questions, and then not turn a single critical eye to anything like some sort of half-baked History Channel documentary, this is not the channel for you. However, if you're genuinely interested in monster sightings and the possible explanations for them provided by a scientist with backgrounds in paleontology and biology, then definitely check out Trey the Explainer's Cryptozoology series.
The third channel we're going to have a look at today is doubtlessly the one with the least Halloween content. I believe it has 4 Halloween videos from last year, and so far 1 from this year. But if the ones going up this year are anywhere near as good as the ones that went up last year, then no trick, it's going to be a real treat. So, let's get into talking about Chadtronic.
Chadtronic's channel is one that is entirely, for me, carried by his personality and his sense of style. You see, I'm not generally into toy reviews, and I'm not generally into reaction videos. In fact, Chadtronic's toy reviews and reaction videos are the only ones I watch. He has a lot of really bizarre mannerisms, a unique sense of humour, and an amount of energy that if we were able to harness it, we could probably solve South Australia's power problem. His videos really are a total spectacle in the best kind of way. Plus his videos are always wonderful to look at as they're decorated, coloured and lit in a way that reminds me strongly of Cheese TV and Saturday Disney. Also, whatever Nickelodeon's equivalent was. We never had anything except for free TV, so I don't know. But since Chadtronic's a big fan of Nickelodeon, I assume that's probably the inspiration. And his Halloween videos are no exception. They look spooky, but they also look somehow vibrant as if a cartoon has come to life. As he does currently only have 5 Halloween videos, I'm not going to bother suggesting any one over the other, and instead I've just included a link to his Halloween playlist in the description below. They're all good fun and they're all worth a watch.
The fourth channel we're having a look at today is definitely the one that I've gotten into most recently, but with every new video she puts up, I get more and more hooked.
Lindsay Koski, which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly, but if my history of saying names is anything to go by, I'm almost certainly not, sorry, is a YouTube channel that does an assortment of largely Halloween-based content. A lot of her content is public domain music and short cartoons, best of compilations of not public domain content, and Halloween music playlists that all are, no doubt, fall on varying degrees of the left and right of the precarious line known as fair use. So enjoy all of that while it lasts, because you never know when some jackass company is going to flag it as not available in all countries. But for me, that's not where I feel her channel really shines. No, instead for that, I'm going to have to suggest her more personality and research-driven videos, which is pretty much any video in which Lindsay appears herself or puts down a commentary track. My favourite of all of these is a history she did on Morticia, Elvira and Vampira that not only taught me a lot about the characters that I didn't know, but is also enhanced by the fact that her voice is pretty much perfect for this kind of video. There is, much like Chadtronic, only about 4 or 5 Halloween-related videos in which he has done this so far, but the lion's share of them have come out recently, and so I'm hoping she continues on this track because they're darn entertaining. And so from Lindsay's channel, the 3 videos I'm going to suggest here today and provide links for in the description is the Addam's Family vs. the Munsters, Morticia, Vampira and Elvira, and Why No Lily Munster, which is a good companion video to the aforementioned Morticia, Vampira and Elvira one.
Before I get to the final channel, I would like to do a special mention to Sugar Pine 7. They don't really have any Halloween content yet, but they did just win Show of the Year, and they do have an independent horror film coming out this October. And so if any of their previous stuff is to go by, it should be absolutely excellent, so you should definitely be looking out for that. And the 5th and final channel that really gets me into the Halloween spirit is, I feel, the indisputed champion of Halloween on YouTube. I am, of course, talking about Cinemassacre.
Created by James Rolfe and spread out across his 2 YouTube channels Cinemassacre and Cinemassacre Plays, as well as his own website, Cinemassacre, the amount of Halloween content that this channel puts out is, without an exaggeration, when played back to back, probably amounts to entire days' worth. On top of this, the variety that James Rolfe, often accompanied by his friend Mike Matei, put out is absolutely staggering. On top of doing periodic Halloween specials to his ongoing and most popular series, The Angry Video Game Nerd, Cinemassacre also puts out podcast-style discussions between James and Mike, spooky video game playthroughs, and the occasional commentary on a public domain horror movie. On top of that, if you're looking for reviews of horror movies, for 10 years James did Monster Madness, which for most of its lifespan consisted of 31 videos throughout October, and even now continues on in a reduced style in the form of Son of Monster Madness. And if you're not looking to see reviews of movies, but instead just watch a movie, there are also several independent short films entirely original to Cinemassacre available on the channel. Suffice to say, Cinemassacre has put out far too much Halloween and spooky stuff for me to really be able to narrow down my suggestion to just 3 videos. And so, I'm not going to, but instead suggest one thing from each roughly defined category. From his Angry Video Game Nerd series, I'm going to suggest the very first Halloween special, which is a review of the NES Friday the 13th game. I don't necessarily think that this is actually his best AVGN Halloween special. I think that's probably his latest one for Berenstein Bears, but on the other hand, to really appreciate that one, you have to be familiar with the series, whereas this first one, his Friday the 13th review, is relatively early on in the series. It's only the 12th episode overall, and you can enjoy it even if you're not familiar with the series. If you're looking for an entire spooky series to watch, then I suggest you check out Board James. I don't really want to go into why it's spooky because it's spoiler territory. It's really something you should just sit down and watch instead, but the series is definitely some of James's best work. If you don't want to watch an entire series though, then Mr. Bucket, Dream Phone, 13 Dead End Drive, and Nightmare and Beyond is still definitely something you should sit down and watch if you're looking for something spooky. You won't get the entire feel of the series, but you will still definitely have a good time. When it comes to Monster Madness, I have to once again go with the original, simply because it's a history of horror, and so it's more informative of the genre in general, where the later Monster Madnesses are slightly more review-based. And then finally, when it comes to original short films, The Blue Hole and Cinemaphobia are both excellent, and Kung Fu Werewolf from Outer Space is just utterly ridiculous. But if you have to pick only one to watch this Halloween season, you really can't go past The Deader the Better. It has the atmosphere, it has the humour, and it has the gore. And of course, all of these are available under Cinemassacre down in the description.
Thanks for watching, and I hope you not only enjoyed this video, but you go on to enjoy some of the channels I've suggested today. If you've got a favourite Halloween channel that I've not mentioned, then please let me know in the comments, because I'm always looking for more spooky stuff to watch. And so, as always, until next time, I have been and still am